PEM thanks you for the purchase of your new PEM Spray Wand Pre-Treatment Application System. In the next few minutes, we will take you step by step through the setup process. In addition to this video, all the information you need for successful setup can be found in the owner's manual included with your machine. In order for your machine to operate properly, you will need to supply it with adequate water, power, and fuel. To test to see if you have an adequate water supply, simply take the water supply hose, place it into a 5-gallon bucket, and turn on the water supply. You will need to fill the 5-gallon bucket in 60 seconds or less in order to have an adequate water supply to operate the machine. Do not attempt to operate this machine without adequate water. Normal power is 3-phase. A 230-volt machine will require 20 amps to operate with a 30-amp service to the machine. If the machine is wired for 440 or 460 volts, your machine will need 10 amps to operate, requiring a 15-amp service. Your machine is built with either an LP or natural gas burner. It is imperative that the machine has the proper fuel supply. These units have 545,000 BTU burners and must have enough fuel to properly fire them. An LP machine operates at a pressure of an 11-inch water column, which is approximately 6 ounces of pressure. If you have a natural gas machine, you will need a 7 to 9-inch water column. Again, all of this material is covered in your owner's manual. Once adequate water, power, and fuel are supplied to your unit, it is time to start the machine. To begin, open both the manual water and gas valves. The water reservoir will now fill. Check the float valve to make sure it is operating properly and that the float shuts off the water supply. Once you have water into the unit, connect the hoses from the injectors to the guns, but do not attach the nozzle to the end of the wand. Start the machine. Pull the trigger on the gun and run for approximately 3 minutes to purge any air from the system. Now insert the nozzle into the wand and pull the trigger again. With the unit running at pressure, take time to check for leaks in the hoses, around the injector, and check valve. The next step is to check out the chemical injector. Place the chemical pickup hose into the drum of chemical, making sure the pickup filter is immersed in the chemical. Open the injector valve, if so equipped, and pull the trigger on the gun. At this point, the chemical should be drawn up the chemical tube. It will take a few seconds before chemical will appear in the spray pattern. If your machine is equipped with a seal rinse option, repeat the same process with the second gun. At this point, it is time to turn the burner on and put heat to the system. It is important that all of the previous steps are completed and no problems have occurred before the heat is turned on. Check that the Robert Shaw gas valve knob is in the on position. The word on the knob should be lined up with the red dot, as shown, and that the manual gas shutoff valve is open. Activate the burner switch. The bottom light will come on, indicating the pilot solenoid valve is operating and gas is passing into the pilot orifice. It also indicates that the pilot igniter is operating. When the temperature light comes on, it means that the igniter has successfully lit the pilot flame and that the pilot flame is acceptable to the safety probes within the system. You will notice a delay between the illumination of the first and second lights. This is normal. Once these two lights are on and the temperature control is set at 200 degrees, the burner is ready to fire. The burner is fired only when the trigger is pulled. There is a 5 to 7 second delay built into the burner firing sequence after the trigger is pulled. Once the burner fires and heat is building, release the trigger and confirm that the burner shuts off. If the burner fails to shut off, pull the trigger for 30 seconds. Release the trigger again. If the burner still does not shut off, pull the trigger again, turn off the burner switch, release the trigger, and turn the entire machine off. Do not attempt to use the machine. Call PEM at 1-888-969-1601. Assuming the startup went well to this point, the final check is to confirm the unit draws chemical at temperature. With the machine running with hot water, do one final check to determine the injector draws at elevated temperature. Your setup is now complete. Again, all of these steps are discussed in detail in your owner's manual. Also included with your system is a troubleshooting video to help with any other problems you may encounter. Thank you again for choosing PEM, the world leader in pre-treatment spray wand technology.